At tuloy po ang ating diskusyon ngayon tungkol sa mga numero, mga ginagalang po sa kanilang larangan ng ating po mga kausap. Makasama po natin ngayon Dr. Mangahas, Chair Emeritus ng Social Weather Stations o SWS at columnist sa Philippine Daily Inquirer na ating election partner po. At kasama rin natin Professor Ranjit Rai mula naman sa ating election partner na University of the Philippines Diliman, Department of Political Science. At magandang umaga po Dr. Mangahas, Professor Rai.
Good morning. Good morning po sa inyo.
Kayo po talagang, ewan ko, nalabo mata nyo sa mga numero, mga batikang kayo dyan eh. Kung ikukumpara nyo po sarili-sariling survey sa OCTA Research ni Professor Wright sa SWS, dito po sa mga partial unofficial list, ano po ang initial reaction nyo? Nag-match ba yung talagang sentimiento ng publiko na naging respondent sa inyong mga survey sa resulta po nitong ating mga partial unofficial results ng boto? Doktor, mga asa.
Well, as of now, ayon sa aming May 2 to 6,
Apo.
no? Siyam lang doon ang nasa first 12. Tatlo ay wala.
Opo.
So, kailangan natin, ako iniisip ko lang, anong mga bagong questions ang dapat natin gawin sa susunod na survey, para i-clarify ang lahat na ito. Kagaya ng, kailan ka ba nag-decide ng ano mo?
Okay.
That will be one of the questions that I will do.
Or kung pwede pang magbago ang kanilang
Overnight, no?
boto.
Oh, alam na natin yon, no? Because in the past, alam namin na as much as 1/5 ay nagde-decide sa last day mismo. So, malaki yon. Pero sino yun? Sino yung mga kandidatong yon? Sayang wala tayong exit poll. Sayang na sayang talaga. The last one was in 2016. So, too bad. We need media sponsors for that, you know. So,
yeah. Professor Rai, sa panig po ninyo sa OCTA Research?
Sa amin kasi makapagsasalita lang ako doon sa datos namin. And the only report we submitted was dated April, the last survey was done April 20 to 24. And based on the list of probable winners, and we had a long list because we had a very small sample size. And what came out was really from 12 to 15, very just 1 or 2 percentage points. When you do when you look at our survey and it's all available online, all the names were there. So everybody
Sa ranking lang
that won in reality were listed there, but the rankings were all different, you know. And there were some surprises, no? For example, we didn't expect Binay or Bong Revilla to be where they are now in terms of the numbers. Of course, it can still change. There's still 20% of the vote. And of course, you know, maybe it's also a big surprise, no? How Senator Kiko Pangilinan did. Although in our survey, Bam Aquino was already number 12.
Okay.
In our survey, Congressman Marcoleta got 9 percentage point increase. We are saying that, you know, he was already 11 in our survey. So, you know, but, you know, surveys are not a crystal ball. They're not a guarantee. And they're really just a snapshot of that particular time. And my students I have a class at 11:30 to 1 QP, and all of them were texting me, and all of them voted very proudly. They took pictures. They're happy with reality rather than the surveys. Yeah, so that's what expectation versus reality. So for many of my students, they're saying, you know, when we looked at your April survey, we got a little depressed, you know. But all of them voted, and they were happy that the results are coming out. It was completely different from what we expected from the survey.
Yun nga, yung misconception or misperception na ang survey, mind conditioning daw po, ano, ng public. Dr. Mangahas, ito ba'y tama ho ba yun? Or nakita natin sa resulta na medyo kayo ho ba'y nagulat din?
na hindi kami nagugulat kailanman.
Okay.
Alam mo, no? Nagtatanong kami, every round, no?
Opo.
Kung bumoboto ang mga voters, ayon sa kung sinong lamang. At sabi nila, no, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Almost, you know, that's about 70% who doesn't matter. They don't say, yes. There are some who follow the llamado, all right?
Yes.
And there are some who follow the dejado.
Dejado. Oh.
Okay. Usually, you have to see the net, okay? And the net of the llamado over the dejado is maybe only 2 points. There was even one election na mas lamang yung dejado kaysa limado.
Okay.
Pero you just feel like being
Contrapelo.
contrarian. Contrarian.
Contrapelo.
Right? Oh,
Oo.
yeah. That's right. So, that's just the way it goes, no? What we don't want is to be restrained.
Tama.
That's what I'm really fighting for. You know, we do it, keep on doing it, and actually, it's the politicians who are trying to restrain us. You know, because they are afraid. Right? No, they're not. They're not really afraid. They know that it affects the money. It affects the contributions. Hanggang last moment.
Tama, no?
Oh, it's the contributions. This is in research in the United States and so forth. You know, it affects the contributions. So, siyempre ayaw nila yun.
Yeah.
May mga nananalo sa bangko, talo sa talo sa survey.
Sa survey, oh.
May mga kababayan po tayo na nagdadalawang isip pa rin pagdating sa mga survey. Ang pinupunto nila ay paano naman malalaman yung trend sa buong bansa kung mag-interview lang kayo ng, say, sample size of X number of people. This is something that keeps coming up.
Well,
Sorry,
ang
one
survey ay
scientific.
buong bansa. Hindi lang sa ilang lugar. Buong bansa. Sa amin, at least 240 spots all over the country. Talagang spread out ang mga spots na yun.
Yung
Hindi clustered.
Yung common question, kapag nakita nila yung resulta no, ng partial unofficial tally, kapag ikukumpara dun sa mga naging resulta ng surveys, bakit hindi pareho? Diba? So, the question is, what are the factors that contributed to either yung pagkalaglag ng ilan or pagkataas ng iba?
Well, first, we have to look at the final result. Ano? Kasi these are the early ones. Saan ba nanggaling ang mga early ones? So, let's wait until the end. So, but assuming that it's going to be like that until the end, in our next survey, we'll have to ask people, no? Kailan ba kayo nag-decide? Kung nang inyong mga boto? Okay? Nagpalit ba kayo? No? Ganito.
Naging basis ba yung survey?
We have also asked that. And all I'm telling you, we have done that about 6 or 7 times already.
Laging
No.
hindi.
No. But people like surveys. They're good. They want to see them.
Yes.
They don't want it to be suppressed.
Yeah.
They want to see them, okay? But they don't, they have other reasons for voting besides the trend. Okay. It's like you go to the horse race and then you wait for the horses to run pag saka ka pupusta.
Professor Ray, yun nga, yung nabanggit kanina ni Atom, no? Usually, 1,500 respondents. Tapos sasabihin ng publiko, teka, 60 million mahigit ang botante. Paano, ano yung mathematics or statistical explanation?
Si Professor Mahaba.
Look, we have been in business for 40 years.
Yes.
In 1985, the number of Filipinos was only half of what we are now. But there's no change in the sample size. We don't double the sample size because we double the Filipinos. That's one of the facts that you can get from statistical theory. And it works. You don't use the proportion of the sample to tell how accurate it is. It's the number. It's the number. It's 1,000 before, 1,000 now. 2,000 before, 2,000 now.
Okay.
Doesn't matter that the population grew. Now, to explain that, then you go to graduate programs in statistics. Pero may mathematical,
diploma.
ano yun. Okay.
Pero is there a simple way to explain how the samples, how the sample respondents are determined, or the samples? I mean, the sample size. That's what you said. Parang hindi naman nagbabago yan. But how you
there's
determine the respondents?
Okay, that has to be practical, because you can't spend all of your funds in transportation. Right? And here we follow market research practical rules. Because market research is talagang day in, day out. Okay. You have to start with sample spots across the country. Right? Now that's very, very random. And then in a spot, we will take only 5 per spot. That's very, very high quality. Okay. If we were not to do it, to do 1 per spot, biro mo naman, napakagastos yun.
Pero ang surprisingly dito, yung survey ninyo, lalo na yung first 5, tinitingnan din pala ng mga political contributor na kung hindi ka llamado, mahihirapan silang makakuha ng tulong mula sa mga ito.
Well,
Yeah.
Yun ang realidad.
now
no?
you asked it of the contributors, but that's what you heard.
I mean, hindi nila ako
Madudihado talaga yan.
Professor, bukod po doon sa paghahambing, doon sa survey results at yung actual na nakikita natin ngayon, ano po yung pwede nating matutunan doon sa naging boto, pagboto ng mga Pilipino sa eleksyon na ito, batay po doon sa resultang una nating nakikita ngayon?
So ako i-echo ko lang yung tatlong points na sinabi ni Professor Mangar, who's basically the father of surveying here, professional surveying here. With SWS, 40 years old? 41 or 40 years old? 40, yeah. And just to give you perspective, OCTA is just 4 years old. So, we are on our 4th year. But then again, what we're extolling is the science, yung siyensya, na hindi ka kailangan mag-census, tanongin lahat.
Election na yun.
Yun nga. Diba, pagka ang doktor, pumunta ka sa doktor, sa mga ating audience na, para simple, kukuha ka ng sample ng dugo mo, hindi mo naman kailangan kuhain lahat para malaman kung may sakit ka o maganda. So, ang sample, ang pagkuha ng sample, may siyensya yan. At pag maganda ang pagkuha ng sample, gaya na kung makakita ka ng kaldero ng sopas sa isang karinderya, hindi mo naman kailangan inumin yung buong kaldero para malaman kung maalat yan, masarap yan. Kukuha ka ng sample. Sa mga magaling na survey firms, gaya ng SWS, yung sampling process ang importante. At saka random sampling yan. So everybody has a chance. So it's in the past and even today, it's quite precise. Pero kasi we only take the survey at a certain period. We have to understand, and in the OCTA's last report, sinabi namin it's too close to call. The situation is very dynamic. And we were seeing changes in particular sa aming report, which is available sa media naman, at ni-report naman ng media, na kahit kami nahirapan kaming magtawag kung ano yung talagang sinong siguradong panalo. Because at our level, on May 20 to 24, we felt that even those below our 12, straight 12, had a statistical chance. Because why? May margin of error lagi ang survey. Hindi siya perfecto, hindi rin siya crystal ball. So, dun sa margin of error, makikita nyo, dikit-dikit talaga . And even now, you're seeing that, no? It's quite close. With 20% of the votes, that's several million pa yun, sa magbabago pa.
Pero dun sa names, walang ranking. Mga 90% accurate yung resulta niyo?
Yeah,
Sa mga
kasi
lumabas?
15 ang pinasok namin So, na may probable.
Nandun siya?
So, pasok lahat
Pasok lahat.
Pasok lahat. Pero that's in a sense, wala ka talagang talo doon Kasi dahil, we put in a big list of names So all of them will come out, no? And again, don't listen to me, just look at the
Hindi, nakita ko
reports
naman sa
online.
ranking nyo, minsan nakalagay 12 to 15.
Yes, may range
Tas
naman.
mas minor.
Hindi siya yung
So
mga
even
numbers.
Kiko Pangilinan in our last survey was 11 to 21. So he was there, but we didn't expect him to do this good in the final. And of course, it's the people. The people have spoken, and every time you have an election, it's good for broadening and deepening democracy. Yun lang yung point ko. We just had a successful election. May mga nasawi. It's talagang nakikiramay tayo, pero relatively peaceful. At mukhang maayos naman. So let's wait.
Yes.
Tama si Professor Mga. Let's wait for the final data, and then we make an analysis.
Okay.